Now, the Department of Agriculture Inspection Services has removed products that were incorrectly labeled and sold as honey-based syrup in Gauteng. This follows an increase in complaints from consumers across the country. Joining us is Gilbert Mediroe, the Deputy Director for Inspection Services at the Department of Agriculture. Gilbert, thank you so much for joining us here on Newsfeed PM. Let's get a clear sense of where we currently sit with regards to this. I believe it's at least a total of 1,059 honey-based syrups and 388 honey products that were then seized over the period of 25 to 29 November. How did all of this happen?
Look, we've been busy with what we call trade control as a department. So trade control is a part of our daily work activities. So our inspectors were able now to identify some of these products. And what we then did subsequent to that, we turned this into a project, and we're rolling out now this thing nationally. As now look, the operations in Gauteng last week.
In getting this operation underway, then, would you say now that the incorrectly labeled and sold goods that were called honey-based syrup from various stores, has that now completely been eradicated? Is it safe for consumers, particularly around Gauteng, to begin with?
Look, we're busy with Gauteng at the moment. We haven't completely eradicated now these products, in Gauteng. But I would say that, we've created awareness, and I would imagine that manufacturers are aware that the department is targeting this product. So we've already created an awareness in Gauteng, and I would imagine that our consumers are aware that we have got now these products in the market. So they have to be vigilant and make sure that they do not buy these syrups that are labeled as honey-based.
Yeah, and trying to take care of themselves in this situation, then the big worry is, of course, the minister warning that the products pose a health risk. How much concern about those health risks is it? Is this a serious of it being a deadly health risk, or one that would certainly need some sort of healthcare supervision?
It will need healthcare supervision. In the department, we take now the cost of non-compliance very seriously, because you'll recall what happened recently. In fact, our kids now dying because of some of these illicit products in the trade. Now, with this honey-based syrup, you'll definitely need doctor supervision. So that's why we've taken now this step now to make sure that you go into the trade, and we make sure that we take all of these products out of the trade, because indeed, we have to do something as government. And unfortunately, as government, there's an appreciation from our partners as well to say, we really have to employ the whole of government approach to make sure that we get rid of these products out of the retail space.
So is this because there was a wholesaler who perhaps sold these items incorrectly or nefariously ultimately, and that is why then even these fines to some of these wholesalers are in place?
Yeah, look, the products are labeled incorrect. Now, there's a difference between, what you would call syrup and honey. You see, syrup is, when you look at its composition, you've got water there, you've got sugar. So this is what now these products are made of. Now, when you've got someone who's diabetic, for instance, now this person, will have a problem, when consuming sugar. And when you've got now these products being sold as honey-based, there's a clear misrepresentation there. So you unfortunately making our people with diabetes vulnerable, because they buying this product thinking that they're buying authentic honey, only to find that they're buying syrup or what you then call simply sugar.
Is there a way for us to then ensure that this doesn't happen again in future? I'm not sure how it kind of works with regards to the food sector particularly, but for example, a technological or any item of that sort would have to go through a particular forum, a particular product services department that would ensure that it doesn't then go to market in any way. How do we stop this from happening?
Look, the majority of these products, are imports. Now, what we're doing as a department, we've engaged with our border management authority colleagues, to make sure that, they begin to elevate their biosecurity measures at the ports, because some of these products, they come through under the false declaration. So we've engaged with SARS to say they really have to make sure that, they elevate, their control measures. We've engaged with PMA to say, look, they must also risk profile some of these countries. Because currently we're trying to look, find out where exactly are these products coming from, so that we can then, develop our strategy, based on our risk profile. So this is what we're doing together with PMA. But also as a department, I would imagine that, you are aware that we don't have the capacity as government. So we've got a capacity issue as a department. But what we're doing at the level of the department, we've got, luckily, we've got able now workforce, and they are in the process of being multi-skilled. We are also repurposing some of this, our officials. So what we're doing, we are advocating for an agile directorate so that we can move our staff complement, to where they're pressured areas. So this is what we're doing at the level of the directorate. But we also look, I am praising the reality that some of us have been ignoring for some time, to say, individual as a department, we cannot win now this war. So we're employing the whole of government approach, and I must also commend SAPS, because SAPS, came on board last week. So we're able now to succeed, in our look, endeavor last week because of the assistance. So what we're going to be doing, we're also going to be bringing on board, some of the stakeholders, so that we join hands together as various government departments, but we're also working closely with what you call SADIO, South African Bee Industry Organization.
Sure.
Because we also wanting to, get, use them as our early warning systems, because SADIO comprises of business people. So these people would know that they've got, the intelligence of what is happening in the industry. So this is what we're doing at the level of the directorate.
So is it correct to say, though, Gilbert, that we're not sure where these imports are coming from, or which countries, where exactly they're manufactured and made, etc.?
Well, I can't say we're not sure. We know, we've already looked at, in fact, some of the countries, but I'm not liberty at the stage now to divulge, because we're still doing some work there. We wanted to risk profile, all of these countries. I would imagine, post that, exercise, we can then confidently come to you and say, these are the countries, because our response plan will ought to be guided by risk management strategy.
All right, and you've said then that once that would happen, you'd then perhaps put forward a sort of risk warning or any kind of warning labeling that is needed in future, once you know all those details, if I'm correct. Where in Gauteng have you got left to search, since you said a little bit earlier that you hadn't completed the rest of the province?
Yeah, we need to go to the western end of Gauteng. That's where we need to make sure that we at least look. We focus, look our attention, but not only the western end. We must also make sure that we focus. On the southern part of Gauteng, because we've already been to both Ekurhuleni and Pretoria. So we are left with the two regions in Gauteng. Then from there, look, then be able to roll out to other provinces.
What about the rest of the country, Gilbert?
That's exactly what I'm saying, to say, look, the next step after, this was the first step in Gauteng. So the next step would be to roll out now the project to other provinces. But unfortunately, we cannot look, divulge our next stop, because that will be giving away, look, our strategy, because we're dealing with some of the rogue elements within the sector. So we can't, unfortunately, I can't communicate, look, our schedule to you at this stage.
I think that's where I wanted to end things. So you believe that it is perhaps some rogue elements with regards to who it is exactly that is sharing and working and sort of distributing some of this incorrectly labeled as honey syrup, as we have it here. Does that mean then that while you've already commended SAPS, that even greater involvement from SAPS will be needed?
Absolutely. That's why I was saying to you earlier that we really have to employ the whole of government approach, because individual as departments, you cannot win this war. That's why we need to make sure that at the cold phase, I'm talking about at our ports, that our border management authorities are also able to elevate their biosecurity measures. So this is what we have to do. Make sure that, collectively as various stakeholders, we at least join hands so that we get rid of these illicit products, in the trade. Clearly, it's a case of rogue elements. If you have people importing, and they bring the stuff, using incorrect declaration when they import it through SAR system. So we also have to make sure that we begin to work on our systems so that we are able to identify some of these products that are being smuggled into the country under their own pretext.
Yeah. Gilbert, thank you so much for the time this afternoon on Newsfeed PM here on Newzroom Afrika.